Ever since Pangea split up, leaving all the continents pissed off at each other, breaking up has been a problem. The Himalayas should have been mine. Why'd you just take them, Asia? You just floated off with them. Breaking up is never easy, and it usually isn't one person's fault. Actually, it's always one person's fault. What I think we all can agree on is that when we break up with someone, we're probably doing it wrong. You were soulmates. Everything she did was a tiny miracle. You got matching tattoos. Now everything he does reminds you why you hate your father. And you're never giving him back his Strokes t-shirt. But you're prolonging the inevitable. Because let's be honest, you know you're gonna do it wrong. According to a report in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, yeah, that's right, there aren't just pictures of scantily clad co-eds in there. Check out the articles sometime. According to the report, males started to stay with one female to ensure that their offspring weren't killed by another male. And you think raising kids today is hard. The researchers found that males started to balance the need to spread their seed as far and wide as possible with the need to keep their children alive. This led to monogamy. Not exactly the kind of soulmate stuff we see in J-Lo movies, but hey, it's how it got started. However, once the kids could protect themselves, it was on to the next mate. Or as your bald uncle who bought a Porsche convertible calls it, midlife crisis. Why don't more women have midlife crises? Because they hate Porsches. Fair enough. Look, breaking up had to have been part of that process, and it is still happening today. Things have changed, and technology has made it easier to break up with people the wrong way. According to information designers David McCandless and Lee Byron, if you're dating someone under the age of 30, there's a 53% chance they won't even break up with you in person. Hashtag cowardly. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag World Cup. No relationship, not even a one-night stand, should end over text. According to Annie Fox, author of The Teen Survival Guide to Dating and Relating, it's cold and it's unnecessarily disrespectful. You just shouldn't break up with someone over text or by Twitter or by changing your Facebook status. If you post it, everybody gets to comment and you're bringing everyone into your world, says psychologist Jennifer Hartstein. And the last thing you want is your old bunkmate from Camp Sabra telling you that you should have been more attentive to your wife's needs. What does that person know about your wife? Seriously! Making the private public rarely works. Just ask Duck Dynasty patriarch Phil Robertson. Heyo. According to University of Chicago neuroscientist John Cacioppo, the pain of losing a meaningful relationship can be especially searing in the absence of direct social contact. In other words, even FaceTiming is a better option. Look, if you need to break up with 3 people at once on a go-to meeting, it's still better than a group text. Another way you're doing it wrong is by having too much social interaction post-breakup. Yes, we are talking about breakup sex. Like drinking, it's never a good idea to have one for the road. According to therapist Drew Koster, getting back with your ex for the occasional night of passion might seem fun, but it usually prolongs the inevitable ending, which can make it harder to forge new healthy relationships. Lying to protect feelings is another common mistake. Look, it's okay to be honest. According to Florida State University psychologist Roy Baumeister, the message to get across is you're not what I'm looking for. You just don't want to be a jerk about it. John Portman, a moral philosopher at the University of Virginia, says, do not cut them down in such a way that it's impossible for them to have another successful relationship. Why rub salt in their wounds? That's just torture. At the same time, you don't want to be so tactful to the point of dishonesty. Telling them it's not you, it's me is actually more damaging than telling them they need to brush their teeth more. Although if you're breaking up with someone because they need to brush their teeth more, it's kind of more you than them, you shallow D-bag. Finally, consider the venue. You never want to break up with someone on a vacation, on New Year's Eve, at her sister's wedding, at your own wedding, or on a Jumbotron. According to eHarmony.com, dumping someone in a public place, a restaurant, or a party, it's just cowardly. Unless, of course, you're the bachelor. You gotta do it in private. Yep. In the end, breaking up is not easy, which is why I've called you here today, Randy. Wait, what? We're breaking up? No, I just called you here to say breaking up isn't easy, but it's necessary, and if we can do it in a healthy way, it's better for everyone. And you just might get that Strokes t-shirt back. For Randy, I'm Jason. For Jason, I'm Randy, and we're still together. Look at us. As brothers. Well, we've always been brothers. I don't think if we broke up, we would still remain brothers. Look, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. According to Florida State University psychologist Roy Baumeister, the message to get... Baumeister! You don't want to be a jerk about it, though. John... Roy Baumeister. Baumeister! The Meister! The message that it's impossible for them to have another successful relationship. Next time on You're Doing It Wrong. According to Statista.com, we take 4.7 leisure trips a year. And you'd think with all that practice, we'd be better at packing. And yet, without fail, we always end up behind some guy who has to transfer items from one bag to another just to drop weight because he doesn't know how to pack right.